高级修炼，创造天仙结构，吸收特殊能量。Advanced cultivation, creating the super celestial structure to absorb special energy. Jiefeng. February 16, 2008. Let's start by examining and reflecting on some interesting phenomena. When you feed fish to a sheep, it won't eat it, but a cat will. Why does a sheep refuse fish while a cat enjoys it? The answer lies in the different life structures of the sheep and the cat. Metal doesn't insulate while asbestos does. Rubber doesn't conduct electricity, but tree bark does. Spherical objects can roll while cubes cannot. Liquid gasoline burns but water doesn't. These differences all stem from varying structures. Some flowers emit fragrance while others do not. Some plants bear fruit while others cannot. Women can give birth, men cannot. A temple bell can produce a deep, resonant sound, but no amount of striking will make a cooking pot produce the same tone. Instruments like the flute, eru, and violin produce music with distinct tones, pitches, and sounds, all because of differences in structure. Conclusion: the differences among all things lie in their structures. A queen bee lives for 4 to 5 years, while a worker bee lives only about 2 months. Monkeys live around 20 years, humans about 60, and super celestial beings live 1,000, 30,000, or even billions of years. Lifespans differ because life structures differ. Conclusion: to achieve longevity, to live long, or even attain immortality, one must focus on the structure of life. What kind of life structure leads to longevity? What life structure should we pursue? In thermodynamics, there is a term called entropy. The higher the entropy, the closer a system is to a state of death. An isolated, closed system will ultimately reach maximum entropy, leading to a state of equilibrium or death. To prolong life, one must prevent life's entropy from increasing. The most effective way to do this is to avoid an isolated, closed life structure and instead adopt a dissipative structure. Flowing water does not rot, and a constantly used door hinge does not rust. The more open a structure is, the longer it lasts. A house with closed doors and windows will decay and collapse more quickly. A business that doesn't foster talent exchange and information flow cannot last long. A country that isolates itself will soon stagnate and fall behind. Likewise, a person who doesn't engage in regular learning and reflection will experience a rigid and stagnant mind, gradually moving toward a state of death. The reason for these examples is simple. When isolation occurs, entropy builds up until external energy can no longer enter, leading to suffocation. Why do lovers often lose their passion once they settle into marriage? Because their emotional structure becomes isolated and closed, their emotional entropy gradually reaches saturation, reducing passion and eventually leading to a dead state. Within a single individual, it is generally impossible to feel the freshness of first love twice. To continually feel that thrill, one's emotional structure must remain open. A pond as clear as a mirror reflects the sky's light and the cloud's shadows. How can it stay so pure? Only because fresh water keeps flowing in. Just like this, only by letting living water continuously enter can we maintain vitality and clarity. Where there is vitality, there is no approach toward death. How do we achieve the life structure of a super celestial being? In fact, the Life-Genuine values provide guidance for continuously creating a super celestial being's life structure. I am constantly breaking down old mindsets and bringing in living water. First, I encourage everyone to think differently, because unconventional thinking breaks the isolation and rigidity in consciousness that have formed over time. This way we can experience the constant wonder of beyond the hills and rivers. A new village emerges. Then I work to free everyone from the restrictive structures of family, political parties, religion, and nationality, expanding the mind to embrace the boundless expanse of time and space. I introduce the vision of the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Celestial Islands continent to shift everyone's perception of life. When our consciousness has fully absorbed the essence of super celestial beings, we will naturally adopt the super celestial being structure. Once we embody this structure, we will undoubtedly exist in the super celestial being's environment. I've explained this principle in The Key to Heaven, Mysteries of Life. Having the super celestial being structure alone is empty if we do not also take in the corresponding energy. Just as an architect cannot realize a vision of a building without the right materials, a construction plan, and labor, A supercelestial being structure without the right energy is no more than a dream. So, we must consider the issue of energy intake. The first requirement is structure. The type of structure determines the type of energy it can absorb. With the structure of a supercelestial being, we can absorb the energy suited for that structure. Different life structures absorb different life energies. The example of the sheep and cat with fish at the beginning illustrates this. A quarry only holds stones, a gold mine only gold, a flour mill only wheat, corn, and beans, a clothing factory only fabric. Each structure absorbs the specific energy it needs. Herbivores don't eat meat, and carnivores don't eat plants. Milk and water mix, but oil and water remain separate. We can see in plants and flowers that they absorb only the specific wavelengths of light they need, while filtering out what they don't. Thus, with a supercelestial being structure, we will naturally absorb the energy required by this structure. But how can we do this? For Qigong and yoga practitioners, whether sitting, standing, or moving, a specific posture is essential. Buddhist practitioners require particular body, speech, mind, and form postures. Posture represents structure. For example, the effect of a single leg cross or double leg cross position differs. Similarly, hand positions, whether palms up or down, have different effects. Feng Shui practitioners pay great attention to the terrain, structure, and orientation of buildings, and devices like televisions, cell phones, and radios must have antennas, all illustrating the importance of structure and energy absorption. A pyramid structure, for instance, can absorb special cosmic energy. Staying inside a pyramid, rather than in a flat-roofed building, may provide a greater sense of vitality. Leek plants grown without sunlight turn pale. Sweet oranges turn bitter in northern climates. Beautiful mountains produce great talent, while barren mountains produce unruly people. These are all results of structure at work. To absorb the right energy, we must first understand what energy is. The factors that bring vitality and joy to life are life energy. Life Echanuan strives to create a peaceful and joyful environment, providing a vision of heaven to inspire everyone. This in itself is a source of energy. By absorbing this energy, we gain a different outlook, and our views on the universe, life, and the future of life change, filling us with vitality. Recently, we celebrated the Spring Festival together. Compare this to celebrating in the secular world. Where do you feel more fulfilled? Where you feel best is where the energy is most abundant. The community here mainly offers the energy suited to supercelestial beings. If our life structure doesn't match, we may not even sense this energy or may feel uncomfortable, as only bees gather nectar. So, how can we absorb the energy needed for a supercelestial being? First, enter the non-material world. Then, in consciousness, place yourself in the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, or on your own island within the Elysium Celestial Islands continent. In this state, you will automatically absorb the energy you need. In your mind, you can create a pyramid, like the one made of countless stars seen at Tongtian Peak Skycliff. Alternatively, create a pyramid of multicolored flowers around yourself. Then imagine sitting within the pyramid, cross-legged and forming a mudra, as described in A Glimpse of the 10,000-Year World, or standing with your hands spread upward, palms open. This will enable you to absorb the special energy. Secondly, visit the Life Echanuan community frequently. As I've said before, the process of building this community is a process of practice and cultivation, because this place provides energy rather than taking it. Keep in mind that conflict, arguments, anger, and jealousy drain energy. But in this community, these factors are minimized, making it an ideal place to absorb energy. Conclusion: replace traditional structures with dissipative structures. Avoid imposing rigid frameworks that limit the freedom of consciousness, to prevent isolation and closure in thought. By doing so, the entropy in our structure will not increase, we will not approach a state of death. And we can then envision ourselves as supercelestial beings, thus absorbing the special energy needed for the supercelestial life structure.